Good day, folks, and welcome back to Ed's Garage at Merton Hyundai. Guys, sorry it's been a while since I've done a video. I just actually don't have a lot of cars to do videos on right now. Stock levels are atrocious. And one of the reasons that I'm able to do a vehicle today is because Hyundai decided finally, you know what, let's bring up some vehicles from the United States. So this particular vehicle came from Southern California. It's a brand new vehicle, like it hasn't been, sold and then brought up and imported into Canada or anything like that. It's actually Hyundai Canada brought the vehicle up. So a bit of a unique situation. So that's why we suddenly have these LE trims. Now this is the 2022 Hyundai Kona N Line. So, and it's a front wheel drive model, which is again a little bit weird, but here it is. And it's looking beautiful. Now this particular one is sold. So before they pick it up, I figured I'd, take the opportunity to do a quick video. So you can see we've actually got a hood deflector on this one as well at the moment, but that doesn't generally come with the vehicle. So let's start at the front. We'll go around to the back and we'll look at the inside as well and kind of go over everything. So this particular one, you'll notice, or maybe you won't, but it doesn't actually have the forward autonomous emergency braking. So there's no little camera in the window there. Of course, to reduce chip usage, there's going to be a few features missing, but it's still very, very feature rich. We've got the LED daytime running lights. We've got the halogen projector headlights. Still have that air curtain pass through, of course, that creates that curtain of air over the front wheels to reduce aerodynamic drag and increase fuel efficiency. And of course, in the N line, you do get this sort of bold styling along the front and a little N line badge right in the grille there. Coming around the side, you got these absolutely gorgeous wheels. Now they're wrapped in Goodyear touring tires. Now these are an 18-inch rim. This is let me see here, 235 45 R18. So really nice rim, nice tire. Actually, those Goodyears are really good tires. You got the N line badge right here, and you'll notice actually the N line also gets body colored molding on the wheel wells. So none of that sort of cheap black plastic. You got the marker lights on the mirrors, of course. You have blind spot monitoring there. And this is something I really like. They've actually gotten rid of the physical button that you press to unlock the doors. Or, well, I don't know if I like it yet, but it's different, right? So you'll notice that. And this one, of course, does have remote start on the key fob. And what's nice about the remote start is that after you start the vehicle and you get in, it automatically detects the key and just immediately comes to life. So there's the remote start button there. So if you hear the little alarm going off, it's because the car is currently running and the key's not in it. So going further back to the back of the vehicle, again, with the N line, you have this N line specific rear bumper. It's got the little air damper thing there. You got the dual chrome exhaust. Really good looking car, especially in this black. It looks very sexy. All right, I've gone ahead and shut the vehicle off, so we're gonna go ahead and look in the back here first off. All right, so a decent amount of space back here. Now, this doesn't generally come with this cargo tray, but that's actually one of the after-purchase accessories you can get. At Merton Hyundai here, basically what we're doing is instead of marking up all of our vehicles, we're just putting a little package on that includes some accessories. So things like the hood deflector, the rubber mats, and this cargo tray. Underneath the floor on this one, you have the little styrofoam organizer, so they brought that back for us. And then underneath that, you have the spare tire and the jack. Now, this floor can actually go down a couple inches as well. I'm not going to bother taking all this stuff out to do that, but just like other Konas, you can drop the floor down for a little extra space. And of course, you have the privacy cover here, which is easily removable. All right, now I've gone ahead and folded that rear seat down. Of course, it's a 60-40 split. And you'll notice actually the floor is basically the same height as the seat back. So if I move this out of the way, you can see the floor actually lines up with the seat back. So if you do need to put a larger object in there, it's actually got quite a bit of space to do so. But let's go ahead and jump into the rear seat. Now I've gone ahead and put the front seat where I would drive it. So let's move the rear seat up and out of the way. And we'll climb in here. All right, so again, I've got the front seat where I would drive. You can see I got a little bit of room in front of my knees here. The door closed, I've got a center cup holder armrest, nice and cushy. And even back here, there's actually some indications that it's an N line. You'll notice we've got the red stitching on the seat, as well as the little red center line down the seat, which is kind of nice. Both of the seat backs are cladded with this plastic, so if you do have anybody sitting back here, the seat backs are protected and there's no energy transfer going through that seat into the driver's back or the passenger's back. So yeah, pretty comfortable, especially with the center cup holder armrest, and lots of room to stick my feet underneath the front seat, because of course it is a nice flat floor and there is height adjustment on that seat as well. Let's check out the front. I've gone ahead and locked the door so you can see exactly how this works. So where there used to be a little physical button here on the Kona, and there still is in other trim levels, but I guess on these vehicles brought up from the States, it's a little different down there, because down in the States they actually have the smart key, the digital key thing where you can hook up your phone so that it, you know, unlocks the car and stuff like that. We don't get that in Canada. Amusingly enough though, the setting is still in the system, so ignore that if you're from Canada. All right, so but anyway, basically all I need to do is just reach on the door handle and open it up and it unlocks itself. So pretty cool. As we look inside the vehicle here, you can see we've got a power driver's seat. So you've got height adjustment, tilt adjustment, and then of course forwards and back. You've got the backrest there and then the lower back support. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 way adjustable power, and then of course the headrest goes up and down as well. You got these N line specific seats. Now I say N line specific because it's not a full performance N, but you still get the little N badge in the seat there, and of course all that beautiful red stitching. You'll notice that red stitching also on the steering wheel as well as on the shifter, and you got the cool little red line there as well, and even on the vents themselves, the little vent handle. And check this out, on this one you've got the little red circle there as well. It's pretty cool. All right, so having a seat in the Kona N Line, let's fire it up. All right, cool. Now this vehicle has a 1.6 liter turbocharged engine. It's mated to a 6-speed dual clutch transmission, 7-speed dual clutch transmission. It makes 195 horsepower and 195 foot-pounds of torque. And while this isn't the full N performance model, it actually does sound really good. Let me rev up the engine so you can see what I'm talking about. All right, so even in the 1.6 turbo, there's a little bit of exhaust burble as it's coming down. It's pretty nice. All right, so let's check out some of the features on this Kona N Line front wheel drive. So we're gonna start on the left-hand side here. As you can see, of course, we have our dimmer switch here, our vehicle hill descent assist, which of course keeps the vehicle going no faster than 40 kilometers an hour. As a matter of fact, when you take your foot off the brake, it maintains whatever speed you're going at that time down the hill. So that's what that's for. You got your traction and stability control there as well, of course. Steering wheel is tilt as well as telescopic. So lots of manipulation with the steering wheel there. Of course, you have automatic headlights. You've got on the right-hand side, you got your stock free windshield washer wiper. It does have a rear wiper as well. On the steering wheel itself, you've got a customizable button here, which I usually just set up to reject phone calls. So the first time you press it, it'll actually ask you what you want it to do. It comes up with this little screen here. Just press reject end call. You got your answer button here, your voice recognition. So if you have a phone connected via wireless Apple CarPlay and wireless Android Auto, that'll access the voice recognition. On the right-hand side, you got your cruise control buttons here. You got your menu buttons. That's for the screen, which we'll go over in a moment. And then, of course, you have the nice little N badge down here as well. On the center console, you've got the auto start stop button. So that disables auto start stop. By the way, guys, if you don't like auto start stop, know that this one is actually pretty good. It's very, very responsive. When you lift your foot off the brake a tiny bit, even before the vehicle starts to move, it'll actually set the engine back on. So if you know the light's about to change, just lift your foot a tiny bit and the engine comes back on. Nothing to it. There's a little bit of a trick to stopping it from doing it completely. Just turn on the front defrost. All right, so looking further down here, of course, you got your heated seat buttons, your drive mode. So this allows you to change the vehicle from normal, sport to smart. And look what it does to the instrument cluster. Check this out. So right now we're in smart mode. If I turn it, there's normal mode, and then I got sport mode. And sport mode does that cool thing with the screen, making it all red and sporty looking. Also in here, I'll move the shifter out of the way, is the wireless charging pad. So fastest in the industry, 15 watts of wireless charging. Now, if you've seen previous videos where I've stated the wattage, I apologize. I kept saying it was 40 watts. It's not actually 40, it's 15, but it is fastest in the industry, and it even cools the phone. You can see there's little vent holes there. Of course, the phone battery will start to get warm when you're charging that quickly. You got the nice lit up USB port here for charging tablets and whatnot. You got the other USB port for wired connections to the screen, so that includes a wired thumb drive or wired Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. This is just the Qi wireless charging light that comes on. You've also got the 12-volt power outlet there as well. And then you have 3-level automatic climate control. So 3-level is quite nice because if you don't want the fans to spin up full speed, you can just reduce the speed really easily by pressing that button. And of course, being climate control, set the temperature and forget it, it'll do everything else on its own. It does have the front defrost, which is automatic, and the rear defrost, also heated side mirrors as well. So not only will this put the rear defrost on, it's also side mirrors. So that's kind of nice. All right, we've got the 8-inch touchscreen. Now this touchscreen includes wireless Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, as I mentioned. It's a non-polarized screen, which means if you wear polarized sunglasses, it's not a problem. You're still going to be able to see what's on that screen. It's a really nice bright image. If I put it into reverse, you can see we've got the really nice backup camera coming up with dynamic steering lines. A very, very clear, high-resolution image. Apologize if my phone's just a little off here, but there we go. And you can see just how nice and clear that is. All right, so I don't want to go over this whole screen today because honestly, you know, that's going to make this video incredibly long. So if you haven't already seen me go over these screens before, please just check out my other Kona videos because they're very, very similar. But a couple things that I wanted to show you in the setup here. Look at some of the customization you get. So if we go to sound, we have obviously the sound position, we got the sound tuning, so you know, your treble, mid-range, that sort of thing. We can change the volume level depending on what you're doing. So if you're backing up, you can have it automatically drop the volume, that sort of thing. You can change individual volumes. You can also have a startup volume limit, which of course you do want in case you like to crank your music so you don't freak out the next time you start up the car. You've got radio noise. You got original, minimum, and maximum noise reduction. So that's also nice to see. Under device connections, of course, is where you connect your phone up to BlueLink or wireless Apple CarPlay, Android Auto. In the display screen, I want to show you this as well. Check this out. It's got a blue light filter. Of course, we're going to enable that. We'll put that on 4 or 5, which is probably the best setting, and it automatically comes on at night. In the screensaver setting, you can actually have the screen come up with either digital or analog clock when you hold down the power button, just like that. So that actually shuts everything off, but leaves on just the clock. Home screen is customizable. You can actually choose what you want on the home screen. We've got media change notifications here, so anytime something changes in the media, it gives you a quick notification. We can extend the rear camera use, but I don't like that, so I'm going to turn that off. And if we back out of there and go into buttons. So this is where I was showing you earlier, you can customize the steering wheel button to reject a phone call or to go straight to voice memo, etc. But you can also change the custom button, which is this one right here. I like to set that into phone projection. So there's a quick and easy way to get to Apple CarPlay, Android Auto. There's also the mode button on the steering wheel, which is this one right here. And that allows you to choose where your music's coming from. So FM, AM, Sirius XM, Bluetooth audio, USB music, and phone projection. If you never use one or more of those, you can actually just leave them blank. So that's kind of nice as well. Also in here under general, pretty minor stuff in here. This is where you would set the date and time, for instance, and even the time zone. So of course we're on the Pacific side and it's currently 3:18 daylight savings time. So I'll leave that enabled. So that's where you can change that. BlueLink is where you can go and set up your BlueLink. Now, speaking of BlueLink, so free BlueLink for 3 years in Canada. BlueLink gives you automated emergency services calling, plus a SOS button on the mirror here. You've also got a BlueLink button right here to call for roadside assistance. Sorry, it's kind of dark. And of course, Google navigation assistance. You can also remotely access your car's features. You can start the car, you can find it on a map, you can unlock the doors, lock the doors, all from a BlueLink app on your cell phone. And that's free, again, for 3 whole years. So not only do you get 5 years of roadside assistance without, concern about kilometers, 5 years and 100,000 kilometers of car warranty, which covers almost everything, you also get that 3 years of free BlueLink. So pretty good systems, pretty good included packages from Hyundai Canada. All right. Going further in the settings menu, here's your Wi-Fi connections for the BlueLink and Apple CarPlay. And then under climate, one of the things I love the most about our vehicles now is that they actually have this windshield washer fluid activation, or rather the activation of the recirculation. So if I pull the windshield washer fluid, it actually recirculates the air so I don't have to smell the windshield washer fluid. I've also got automatic dehumidification, and then I got auto defrost, as I mentioned earlier. So really cool features in the setup screen. Lastly, on the stereo, we've got HD radio, which is cool. So that gives you some radio data as well as a slightly clearer signal. And you'll notice all of our presets are in the same row here. We don't have to switch between AM, FM, and Sirius XM. We can have all the presets on the same row. And then of course we'll just scroll up if we have more in there. It's really easy to set a preset. You just take the little star there and either put the star in or take it out to add or remove presets. Pretty easy stuff. All right, let's talk about the instrument cluster. So currently we're looking at the sports screen, and I can adjust that again with the drive mode. But I'm also going to go through some screens with these two buttons here. These three buttons. So this one here cycles along the top menu. So you'll notice these three icons, boom, boom, boom. Those all light up as I can cycle through with this button right here. This one allows me to go up and down within those screens for sub-menus. So you notice the little dots on the right-hand side here, that's showing that I have additional screens. So if I use this one to go up and down, I'm going to start at the top of the list. We've got our drive info, which will reset now by holding down the OK button. So I'll reset that one. I'm going to set this up for the new buyer as well. So I'll reset that one, go down again, reset that one, just accumulated information. We've got the auto stop timer, which we'll leave on 0 as well. And then we've got 0 kilometers an hour. This is our digital instrument cluster now, our digital speedometer. And you'll notice it says hold OK for miles per hour. So if I hit the OK button, hold it there, boom, everything just changed to miles. Pretty cool. So if I hit that top button again, I'm going to bounce it over to the user settings. And I'm going to go through and just make sure all of the user settings are the way we want them set. Now, by default, this is going to be all, enabled, all of the driver assistance stuff. We're going to leave that there. We're going to change the reset of fuel economy to manually because I don't like it when it just automatically resets your fuel economy ratings every time you get gas. We also want to have the welcome sound turned on. And if I go into theme selection, check this out. I can actually unlink it from the drive mode and I can choose one of the different screens. Check this out. Here's cube mode. And I'm using, by the way, all of these buttons now to cycle through this, as I mentioned. But I'm going to keep that linked to the drive mode. All right, let's back out of there. And I've got lights. So illumination currently is cranked. One touch turn signal. We're going to put that on 5 flashes. Exactly. So that's when you simply tap the stalk, it's going to flash 5 times before stopping on its own. Headlight delay. So when you get out of the car, the headlights stay on for a few minutes, or well, a minute. Under door, you can see we got 2 press unlock. I'm going to go to digital keys. Now this is something I can't actually use in Canada, so we're going to uncheck that because it's just not functional in Canada, at least not yet. Under convenience, we have our rear occupancy alert. So if the rear doors open at any given time, you'll actually get a notification saying, hey, the rear doors were open at some point. Is there anything left in the back? It's pretty cool. When you shut the car off, it'll do that. Welcome light as you approach the vehicle. It puts a little light on in the door handle. And of course, you get the wireless charging pad there. And here's where we can also set up the service interval. All right, we back out of there. We can go into units. So we can put it on kilometers or miles there. We can change the temperature units from Celsius to Fahrenheit. And of course, fuel economy to miles per gallon or liters per 100 kilometers. And I can do a reset here as well, which I'm not going to do. All right, and then one bounced over to the far menu here is our tire pressure monitor, and if I press it again, it goes back to that screen. All right, last thing to note is that both of the visors have mirrors, they both have lights, and they both slide. As you can see, I can pull them out to cover the little part of the window here that ordinarily isn't covered. And that's pretty much it. Thank you so much for watching this review, guys. If you have any questions at all, please don't hesitate to leave the question below in the comment section. If this review helped you at all, please hit like and consider subscribing. It helps me out immensely. I'm almost at 5,000 subscribers. I think I'm at 4,980 last time I checked. So I'm hoping to hit that 5,000 soon. Again, thank you so much for watching. Have a wonderful day.